What's happening, everybody? Happy anniversary for Off the Air podcast. This is we're entering our 5th year of recording. I think that's pretty exciting. It's been a long few years from July 12th of 2018 or whatever the hell. Um, did want to say through no fault of our own, Dan's mic was messed up for the entire episode and the next episode that is referenced in this episode. Forbidden episode 206 that's going to go up. That's going to be bonus content. Sorry about that. And I don't know how to say it, it does seem strangely appropriate that the audio would just be absolute trash on this of all days, our anniversary. So, thanks for listening all these years, everybody. Super appreciate it. Enjoy the episode. Sorry that Dan is so hard to understand.
Noah, you got to do an edit where you like take every single clap sync we've done over the last 5 years and you just clip them together, and we just have like a huge like beat that we make around it, and then it's just like a whole ass like intro ordeal.
That'd be fucking rad.
You can do that by Thursday, right?
Sure.
All right. And you guys just heard it. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe Noah's about to end out the beginning of this episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that.
My favorite bit is when I sign Noah up for bits that are way more work than they're worth, just so that they get cut out anyway. Or sometimes he's like, you know what? Yeah. Because I believe in Noah.
Fuck, I'm about to count the number of beats in our intro song just to see how many claps I need to mimic it. And I hate that.
Well, if you want to take the easy route, you can get 3 claps at least from each episode. Really, realistically, you can get 6 claps from each episode. And no one will know.
Well, the sound of 3
I know one will.
Once is different than the sound of one person clapping, though.
That's true, yeah.
Like, if you want to, and like, even if you layer it, you'd have to, like, pitch shift it a little so that it doesn't sound exactly the same.
How loud is my washing machine?
Oh,
I can't hear it.
It probably isn't recording, though.
I only need 36 claps to hit every beat.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to do it.
Don't do it. It's so much more work than it is, my guy.
We'll see. It depends.
Don't let Jackson pull you into work.
But what if I bully myself into work? Hypothetically.
There's your 36 claps, by the way.
For 3 different jobs?
Yeah, maybe I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, so you guys already had like a... And by already had, I mean will have, /had, and /might not have had.
Time is a flat circle.
Maybe if she's 5'3". Anyway.
What?
MC Hammer. Anyway, you guys already reminisced about the last like 5 years. Do I get to do that now?
Yeah, dude. Reminisce away.
Yeah.
Just for me though?
No, we can all reminisce together.
It's been 5 years.
It's been no, we can all reminisce together because I feel like it's weird because like it's almost like holding out the carrot of Noah and I's reminiscence if we don't all reminisce at least a little together.
I mean, you can't re-reminisce.
No, we can reminisce but this time for the first time.
Yeah, well, it has to be, you have to be reminiscing about stuff you hadn't already earlier. You have to reminisce about new stuff.
That's true. We do have to reminisce about new things.
I mean,
like Noah had Hot Pot.
I did have
first
Hot
time.
Pot. Honestly, I have never had Hot Pot before.
Oh god,
the saga of everyone thinking Noah's had Hot Pot before.
It's very funny. Hot Pot.
No, so here. Let me tell you the story. Ages ago, way back in 2020 or 2019, when I went and visited Nina, Hot Pot was a thought, but we never did it. And then, fast forward to 2020, and we considered doing Hot Pot again when we visited her family, and we didn't. And then in 2021, we considered doing Hot Pot when we visited her family again, but we didn't. And then when Nina visited her family, they got Hot Pot. And then when Nina visited Emma, they got Hot Pot. So in Nina's mind, Hot Pot has happened on vacations. It's just that I haven't been there for it. So everyone do be forgetting.
I can't believe that she just abandoned you like that.
So here's the thing, though. I don't think I've eaten this much food in like a long time. It's probably been a solid year since I've eaten this much food in a single day.
That's the best part of Hot Pot.
I don't know that I'm going to eat much tomorrow, but holy shit. What a delightful experience. Except for the
I'm
first
really-
20 minutes where the guy did not refill my water and I was choking on spicy oil stuck in my throat.
Suffer
Beyond
and
that,
die trash.
It was so good.
That's awesome. I'm genuinely very happy. Like that's so much fun. I love hot pot very much. I think I've talked about that on the podcast a couple of times at this point. But hot pot is a blast, and everyone should do it.
It's just a fun time. Like, it's just a fun way to have a meal.
Yeah, it's a fun way to have a meal, and it's very. I feel safer doing it now than I did, all of 2020.
Safer?
Safer?
Oh, pandemic. I thought you meant you were, like, in danger.
Yeah,
George, what are you
just
doing?
turn
What
the
type of
burner
danger are you in
down.
the hot pot?
George, just turn the burner down.
I sit down and it's just bubbling everywhere. I can't handle it. It's too stressful. You expect me to cook my own food at the restaurant? That's what I pay
Yeah, you cook
professionals
your own
for.
food. No, you don't. Seinfeld hot pot bit would be so good.
Honestly, it's a crime that Seinfeld ended before hot pot was a thing in the States.
Because
I mean,
you know,
it was a thing, but
you know that George would be like, why would I go here? Because I pay them to cook the food. I don't want to cook my own food. I'm paying them. And Kramer would bring his own food, and it would be weird.
Yeah, he would be trying to figure out how exactly he could like sneak in food. And but it would be like weird, noticeable food, nothing like normal.
Like, oh no, Jerry, they don't want you to know about. And then like some strange food item he's got putting in the hot pot.
Mm-hmm.
They always tell me, sir, you can't bring your arugula in here. And then Jerry would just be having like a normal hot pot experience. When like he would probably, my bet is something would happen with like the waiter would like say something to Jerry, and Jerry would just hold on to it for the entire bit.
George, he asked me if I needed a fork. Can you believe it? Do I look like a man who doesn't know how to use chopsticks? And that would be the entire premise of the episode, is Jerry trying to wrestle with the fact that he looks like a fork guy and not a chopstick guy.
Yeah, and like when George
arguing
didn't
that
get
he
asked.
Yeah, and George was like, he didn't even give me chopsticks. What do I look like? And then Kramer,
I guess I'm a fork guy.
still just keeps coming in, trying, like, his whole side plot is just being there with more different foods. And they're like,
Yeah, he's
Kramer, you
trying
gotta
to not
leave.
pay for food and just use the broth.
Yeah.
What would Elaine be doing?
Elaine would have nothing to do with the hot pot dilemma because she would be so busy with some weird work project that also involved a boy.
Damn, that's true. They did Elaine dirty, honestly, in so many episodes.
They really did. Just turning her into a character who was like always chasing after the dudes.
Yeah. It was always boyfriend problems for her.
Mhm.
It was never her problems, you know? And she was never getting in on the antics. She was too straight-laced, you know? Elaine antics were, like... Honestly, when Elaine got into antics, they were always kind of fucked up. Like, a little bit, like, dark, almost. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Just like one of those
Like,
things that's like, hey, let her have her own arc.
Yeah, that's the thing. George would be like, oh, yeah, I don't like the way that this guy tried to sell me a necklace. And then Elaine would be like, I hit a body. And you're like, this episode is just not... Why can't Elaine
Kramer
just
can't
get a
find his
break?
car. Elaine bought a fish in a plastic bag that died. There we go. That is an actual episode.
The carport. That's
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the most iconic episodes.
As somebody who's never watched a single episode of the show, this is great.
But you live in Seinfeld Town.
That
You do live in Seinfeld Town.
He put that on the map.
I don't know what that means.
What do you mean you don't know what that means?
This
Take
New
one
Yorker-
guess where Seinfeld takes place.
Jersey.
And you live there.
Jersey City.
This
I'm gonna
dude's
lose my
acting
fucking
like
mind.
he doesn't work in the bagel capital of the world.
But like, okay, I get that I live. Like,
Seinfeld Town, yeah.
Just because someone lives somewhere doesn't mean that they know all content related to that. Like,
I didn't say you did. I said you live in Seinfeld Town. He put it on the map. Don't you have like statues to him? Like the one with the torch
Actually, I'm trying to think if we do have any statues about. I'm sure we must somewhere in the city, right? Like,
for Gerrans.
Like statistically, there should be some somewhere, right? Like,
The
that's all-
Feldster.
That shit happens in like every major city. I don't know.
I'll have you know,
How
I did just
important-
Google New York Seinfeld statue, and it just keeps showing me the Statue of Liberty.
Hell yeah, dude, it's his. He runs this city.
There's this picture of the Statue of Liberty with Jerry Seinfeld's face real, like, big next to it.
They're gonna do that, yeah. They're gonna build that. What if they announced they were gonna change the Statue of Liberty?
Good.
I don't know if they could get away with that.
Well, I mean, why? They probably, whoever owns it probably owns it. It's probably a federal government thing. If they were just like, yeah, fuck it, we're gonna give her like more visible toes. They couldn't stop them.
They're gonna put her like, they're gonna give her a gun.
No, they'd probably like give her like a snapback or something.
Oh, that would do it.
That'd be cool.
I believe we just figured out how to make the Statue of Liberty cool.
Finally,
I feel like
honestly.
not enough people wear snapbacks with DC hero emblems on them anymore. You know,
So true.
more people need to wear the Superman snapback. What happened to swag? You know, where the shutter shades at?
Man, you can't keep bringing up shutter shades today.
I can. They're cool.
Dan, please, shut him down with me. Don't make me do this alone.
I'm so lost right now.
Shutter shades, it's like what
Shutter
LMFAO
shades.
wears.
Yeezy.
They're
And
the
shutter
they're
shades,
the
pink
sunglasses
polo.
that have like shutters on them.
They don't
Old
do
school
anything, right?
Kanye.
Like I've
What?
always assumed those are just for show and don't actually like do anything, right?
They do one thing, which is make you cool.
Yeah, they make you swagged as all hell. It is embarrassing to Google that if you Google shutter shades, LMFAO is not here.
No, it's Kanye.
When I think shutter shades, I think Kanye.
He do be on here pretty early. But like still.
I don't know what you want me to say, friendo.
God, these are so cool.
I just want you to tell him that no, shutter shades don't need to make a comeback or something like that.
Why would I tell him that?
Oh my god.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years.
I can't believe 4 years of joining me against Jackson, and now suddenly you're going to take Jackson's side for no good reason.
Yeah. That's kind of what happens when you're on the side of the people.
Don't feel good.
Where
does it,
will you
Noah?
be when God comes back?
Doesn't feel good to have the whole podcast turn against you like that, huh?
No, you're not going to just let Jackson breeze by where will you be when God comes back.
No. I got a point.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people saying it.
Yeah. It's really common, actually.
Holy shit. I live with crazy people.
You don't live with either of us.
I could, though, if you weren't cowards. We could buy the
If we get
OTA
let's
content
get a house.
house.
Yeah, let's get a houseboat.
The OTA, oh my god, the OTA content houseboat, season 5.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Brought to you by Outdoors Superstore Joe.
I would honestly, have you ever landed on houseboat TikTok? Where there's just these
No.
people that travel the canals in England in their houseboat?
I wouldn't want to do that because then I'd be in England. Up top. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, I deserve that one. That's on me.
They got great pike fishing there, though.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but in my mind, England is just so tiny. Firstly, it is so tiny. But in my mind, England is so tiny that it can't possibly have room for countryside. Because half a sec, let me pull up a fucking map.
Nah, England's got like a Toronto, it's got a Canada situation where like everybody lives in one area. But there's a lot
The
of crazy.
United
like,
Kingdom is 10% or 110% larger than Pennsylvania. So it is twice the size of PA, which is a lot bigger than I thought it was. But still.
Wait, 110% the size, wouldn't that just be 10% bigger?
No, it is twice as large as Pennsylvania plus a bit.
Okay.
It is 110%.
Wouldn't that be 210% size?
No, it is 110% larger. So it's poor phrasing.
So from
it is 210% the size of Pennsylvania or 110% larger.
Heard.
It's just a poorly written article. So my bad. How big is England versus the U.S.? 40 times smaller. There are 11 states that could fit the U.K. inside of them. Not Pennsylvania, though. But still, in my mind, England is about the size of Pennsylvania. So I'm like, how can so many people live in an area and still have areas of nothing? But here we are.
Yeah. Here we are. They do have areas of nothing, but you also can fish in areas of something.
That's true. You are allowed to do that.
You know what? Okay. I'm down.
Yeah,
We should
you
maybe...
can fish on the Thames. I don't
Do
know if there's
you
anything
wanna
you can
fish in
get
the
in there.
Thames, though?
I wouldn't want to put my toes in there. Not my piggies. Not even the one that went wee.
All the way home?
All that fucking way. Anyway,
This wee little piggy, he goes all the way fucking home, I tell you.
is that if like Charlie Hunnam was like interrogating someone by cutting off their toes?
Yeah.
I know. I like you guys.
Do you guys like Charlie Hunnam? What's he up to?
I have no idea who you're talking about. You know,
He's like a guy.
I'd go for that for the anniversary.
Oh, he's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy that was in Sons of Anarchy. Okay.
Oh yeah, probably. He's like a tough guy, British guy, I think.
I appreciate that for the
Yeah, he
anniversary,
is.
So we go back to the old standard of talking about a bunch of shit that Dan is just completely blindsided and has no clue what they're talking about.
He's the main guy in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
He's from Newcastle. No way.
Damn. Newcastle boy?
He's an island boy.
Is Newcastle like White Castle?
Yes.
I think so, but I've never been to Newcastle. I've only been to White Castle.
You know
And
what?
if it's anything like the other one, then they probably got pretty good onions.
Pretty good onions. That's what I think
Yeah.
of White Castle.
What do you think the forest coverage of the UK is?
Pretty low at this point, I feel like, right?
It
I don't
has
know.
to.
I mean, what do you think the forest coverage of Pennsylvania is?
The forest coverage of Pennsylvania has to be a solid, like, 60%, right?
I think it's somewhere around there, yeah.
Feels right.
Because I wanted to say more, but then I realized that I also have to factor in the amount of fields we have.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
a lot of farming.
But there is a good chunk of Pennsylvania that is an undeveloped national forest.
Yeah, like 58.6%.
Holy shit! That's so
That was-
much closer than I thought.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I already knew the answer, so because I care, I look at this kind of stuff because I'm a fucking like that. But yeah, number one is Maine. Almost 90% of Maine is covered in forests.
Yikes.
Oh my
Or
god.
Maine.
No, that's awesome.
I think the
Imagine
issue
if you
isn't
got
the
forests.
issue that it's hard to navigate Maine though. Like there's not a lot of east-west navigation. There's only north-south.
It's pretty.
for the
It's
most
pretty hard to
part.
navigate Maine, especially if you can't see the forest through the trees.
Oh
That's
my
true.
god. No, don't.
Because then you can't.
Don't you?
I've been to
You
Maine. No,
can't.
that's true.
That's true.
This episode is ideal because everyone agrees with me.
You got me there. I can't argue with your logic, I suppose.
That's because you agree with me.
Do I?
It was part of the statement I made.
Ugh.
What do you guys think the second most treed up state is?
Rhode Island. No, that's not true. I don't think
That
that's
can't
a
be
lie.
true. It's an island. What can I? I do want to guess. I do want to guess, right? But can I
Yeah.
have one hint? Like if I ask one question, can you just yes
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
it
yeah.
one of the original 13 colonies?
Fuck, dude. Probably. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it is.
West Virginia was one of my guesses.
I was gonna say Virginia actually.
But I also feel like New Hampshire is probably pretty heavy coverage.
Here's the thing.
So what's your what's your guess?
I'm gonna go with New Hampshire.
I think I'm gonna go with Virginia.
Noah, you're fucking brilliant.
Damn,
You're
I would have
correct.
expected. I would have
Oh.
expected New Hampshire to be kind of a Rhode Island situation where it's so goddamn small that like.
Well, that's
all
the
they can do
thing.
is fit a city or two there and be done with that.
Third and fourth, you guys will never guess
Is
because they're not states.
oh,
Oh,
they're territories.
Yeah.
So one's Puerto Rico.
Nope.
Oh, how many territories do we have?
we have
I don't know, like 5.
Is
I think 4 or 5.
Guam?
U.S. territory.
Nope.
Oh fuck, that's all the territories I know. We have more.
One of them neighbors Dwayne the Rock Johnson's country of ethnic origin. I think.
Fuck. Well, come on.
The U.S.
What do you mean, come on?
The U.S. territories are
That was like the easiest giveaway.
Puerto Rico,
I don't.
the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Northern Mariana Islands,
American Samoa.
American Samoa,
It's American Samoa, yeah.
Midway, Palmyra, how do you pronounce Palmyra?
It's Elvira.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I
Sorry, thank you. Lady. of
That's
the
the lady with the knockers who's scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
for her.
Like that was immediately just, yeah, that is correct. Baker Island, Howland Island, Jarvis Island, Johnson Atoll, Kingman Reef, Wake Island, and Navassa Island. We have, like, what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14?
Well, a lot of those are not considered like proper territories. They're outlying islands and they're not incorporated.
Neither are the territories.
No, the territories are. To a higher degree. They have like more, I suppose, like I guess U.S. like territorial legitimacy, I guess, in terms of like the way that they're interacted with on like a political level, whereas the outlying islands are categorized a little bit separately. But regardless, It's all garbage. Guess what comes in 5th place right after the American Samoa and the Northern Mariana Islands?
Nevada. No.
Nevada, famous for all the trees.
Yeah, Colorado? Is that on there? Or do the mountains
Colorado
kind of kill
is
the
on the
tree
list
cover?
because the list has all of the states on it.
Ah, I see.
Colorado is 38th.
Whoa. The trees, I'm sure, really cut into the mountains, I'm sure, heavily cut into the tree cover. Is it West Virginia?
It is West Virginia. Jesus Christ, dude. What's after West Virginia?
Is it East Virginia?
God, what if?
The Shenandoah River.
All right.
It's Vermont. Okay, let's move on to the next bit.
Jackson, do you have any memories that you would like to highlight from these past 4 years of podcasting?
I don't know about like specific memories. I've definitely experienced a lot of change.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 years now.
Yes, 4 years of podcasting. We are entering the 5th year.
Yeah, I'm almost
That
done
makes it a
with
4-year
college.
anniversary, not a 5-year anniversary.
I don't give a fuck.
Grand.
I don't know, man. We're
Those
entering
people
season
lying to
5 is
people.
all I know. Okay,
That's
we're
4
entering
years,
season
so
5.
that's a 4-year anniversary. You don't start your anniversary with your wife at the day you got married. That's not your first anniversary.
You do if you're really married, if you're extra married.
Yeah, that's true. If you're extramarital, if you will.
Guess what the most... I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Well, that means that we don't get wood for our anniversary. We get fruit or flowers and electrical appliances. We did this last year. I remember electrical appliances.
The fuck are you talking about?
I hate these. These are so weird. Go for it, Noah. Explain yourself.
No, it's just the anniversary gifts thing. The traditional gifts or the modern gifts. I don't need to explain myself. This is a thing. People know what I'm talking about. I've done it for 3 years now.
It's a thing that I had never heard of before you, so...
I learned it from Arthur. So suck an egg.
Arthur...
Yeah, fuck you, Dan.
Arthur
Noah's
the
onto this.
person, Arthur the, like...
The guy.
Arthur the goddamn TV show, Dan. What else could I be talking about?
Arthur that you haven't talked about. What do I know?
I've talked about Arthur a lot.
Arthur the Aardvark from the show?
I don't like
Hometown boy?
From Erie? We got Arthur and Trent Reznor.
Yeah. I love that you didn't know that Trent Reznor was from Pennsylvania.
Me. I broke apart my inside. Help me. Anyway. Yeah, I feel like I've changed a lot in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Good.
Big
I think
vibes.
you should change a lot.
I'm almost done with college.
That's rad.
I didn't even start when we started the podcast.
That is one of those things that I did think about. I was talking to Michelle earlier today after we recorded or will record the follow-up episode of this. Is that like this podcast is probably one of the like 2 or 3 things that I've committed to the longest. It's this, my wife, and my weekly D&D game, and that's it.
I feel like you
It's
are
like this and
ignoring
being a
your
vegan
college
for me.
education. Wait, what?
No, all of those, everything that I was doing went on longer than my college education.
Once again, you cannot bulldoze past being a vegan from Jackson. You were a vegan? How did I miss that?
I mean, this is like one of the biggest, most committed things I've ever been in my life. I never said I was good at it, but I've been a vegan for a long time.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. I just watched you shovel a pound of meat into the hot pot
Help
tonight.
me,
I'm trying
I
to do
broke
this.
apart my inside.
I'm sitting here, I'm trying to take things
I
even
got
remotely
no soul
seriously.
to tell.
Dan, I need to apologize to you for Jackson singing Closer. We were talking about the worst
I wanna fuck you rockin' in
the worst karaoke song that you are most likely going to be able to actually sing at karaoke. Because there are probably songs that are worse than Closer to sing. But
Yeah, I mean, Infant Annihilator is a band.
exactly. But you're not likely to find these songs, but 9 Inch Nails is popular enough and Closer is a popular enough song that you most likely will always be able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And it's like, I think the worst readily available karaoke song. Because it's so sexually aggressive.
It's so...
Like, imagine some guy gets on stage and is like, "You let me violate you." Like, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing up there, man?
Go home.
Yeah. Like, just imagine, like, a guy at a karaoke bar on the stage going like, "I wanna fucking like an animal." You're like, Jesus, man. That's scaring me.
It's power that you were not prepared for.
No, I'm not. Assuredly. I think it's the worst readily available karaoke song.
You know what?
Because everything else that like I can think of as like worse is also like could be like funny if you're doing it like in a goofy way.
Mm-hmm.
Closer, there's like it's what are you gonna do? Inflect to make it funny? It doesn't really work.
Yeah, no, I agree. It makes total sense to me.
Dan, do you have a pick for the worst song ever made?
Oh man, probably some internet bullshit from the early 2000s.
It's got to be like an actually like seriously made song that did some chart time. Doesn't have to top the chart or anything, but you know was produced by like a record label for an audience deliberately.
Yeah, so a not to discount the effort put into a YouTube song, but a professionally released mainstream attention song.
Yeah, not like Onision, I'm a Banana.
I mean,
which I will say is worse than most songs ever. But I think it's kind of like a karaoke song. People will be like, I think this one's the worst song. I'm like, yes, you're never going to see that at a karaoke bar.
I think
My vote is Cisco's The Thong Song.
You know what? I have a guilty pleasure in that song. It's awful. It's atrocious. It shouldn't exist.
She got dumped like a truck.
But there's something very fun about that song.
I mean, maybe it's just definitely not my thing. I cannot stand it.
So,
when your girl got IBS, she got dumps like a truck. Thank you, Noah, for laughing at the joke I already made today.
It's funny.
It's funny, but no one else heard it, so I had to say it again because I think it's funny too.
It did. Okay, I don't know if this counts. I'm gonna say it. So I had to look at the Wikipedia article to see how serious it counted. The fucking Axel F cover from early 2000s. The Crazy Frog one. That might be the worst song ever, and it did have chart time. Like mad.
Wait, the Crazy Frog song?
Yeah, the original.
You think that's the worst song ever?
That thing is real bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. For a produced and like hit high chart time, as far as worst, I mean, okay, I say worst as in I would like to never hear it again, right?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely subjective. It's a personal thing.
For me,
I did at one point bring up the Crazy Frog song, but after like listening to it again, I was like, you know what? Genuinely, I don't think it's the worst song. I feel like it's not good. I don't like it.
It might be how overplayed it was for that time period. As I think my dislike of it probably.
I think the circles you ran in probably also heard it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did.
Also, I realized I've never heard the Thong Song. So I'm listening to it right now. This is bad.
Oh,
yeah, it's garbage.
Bad.
It's okay to like the worst songs ever made. But I think that one, whenever that is like become, at least for now, my stock standard where I'm like, oh, like Butterfly by Crazy Town, that song sucks. Is it worse than the Thong Song? And my answer, nah, I really don't think it is.
I really like that you have a like baseline to keep going back to.
Yeah, and as soon as I find something that is worse than the Thong Song, I'll be like, all right, that's my new baseline. And then like that's where you operate of looking for something worse than this thing that sucks.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And it has been 4 years. I know we're not really like focusing on that too much, but I feel like that's part of the charm.
Yeah, I feel like somehow we do actually have a niche that we do fill, and like we managed to find a voice that is a little weird, but is ours and small and good, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I've genuinely changed a good bit throughout the 4 years, but I haven't changed in terms of my mannerisms, just my interests, and like I guess my beliefs to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But like my physical, I suppose, like the way in which I converse with other people, especially with you people, has not really changed. But like my interests have, and that's part of the fun. And it's part of change. It's part of growing up and moving on and changing and moving along. It's still ultimately you, but
I mellowed out
Undertale or whatever.
I slowed down on the hating things for the sake of hating them a lot, definitely over the last 3 or 4 years. And I know the Dead Silence was like he's gonna do it except for, but no, like actually, like I've toned down that like.
My guy, you gave us 1 second. We didn't have a chance to respond.
I'm ignoring Noah. I know that like I don't know. I feel like because it became old, it became not like, oh man, congratulations, you dislike a thing, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to see how much we've changed. I'm not going to get into too much how I've changed because spoiler
We
alert
talked
for
about
next
that
week's
for
episode.
next week, yeah.
I did talk about that an awful lot. So I'm gonna let the next week's episode handle that one for me.
Let Noah from the future deal with that one.
Yeah, Noah from the future can just not shut up.
That's true.
About what?
Oh, many things, many things.
Got him. Let me take you down. The day is June 22nd of 2018. At 5:22 p.m., Noah messaged me, and I don't know where this came from, but he said, "By the way, when you're sober, remind me I have a question for you."
Oh, you were doing your drunk Nuzlocke. That was the day that you. That's the day that you
God,
died.
fucked.
God.
Oh, dude, I was fucked. I drank like almost 2 bottles of vodka. Yeah, that sucked. Anyway. I responded. I was like, "Yeah, I'm sober." And it was like the next day at 1:24. Again, he messaged me at 5 in the afternoon. I was fucked.
Yeah, you were really far gone.
But Noah said, I was like, "What was the question you had?" And he's like, "I was wondering if you'd be interested in doing a podcast episode with me at some point. Not super soon, but mostly in general."
Man, you trot out that message once a year, and every year I'm like, damn, I really did write the world's worst message.
You really
A podcast episode at some point. Not super soon, but in general. I was like, you know what, yeah. I've been wanting to do something like that, I suppose, and then now here we are.
Now here we are. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, welcome everyone. It's the podcast. Dan, how did I get you?
Oh god, dude, we've got so many messages. Are you gonna make me go look?
No.
I'm doing it. Fuck you.
See, I only was able to find mine because it was on Facebook Messenger for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Did no one message me not on Discord?
I don't think we were Discord friends yet.
I feel like we had to have been.
No, because I had not joined your Discord server yet.
Oh.
What is it, 2018?
Area of.
Dan
definitely got asked on Discord.
I'm going to look before August 2018.
It would have been June, probably, because, I mean,
It would make
if
sense.
this is the anniversary, mid-July, it had to be before mid-July.
Yeah, July
That gives
12th.
me a point of reference to work on.
Yeah, I remember that message, and then just the fact that it was just podcast episode and not start a podcast.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It clearly changed after that point, but that was the initial offering. Yeah, I feel like back then I drank a lot and streamed and played a lot of games. And I don't really drink anymore, and I don't stream, and really I hardly play games. I just smoke weed and fish. So ultimately I have not changed from that individual, but my methodology has adjusted.
Yeah. You know what? It's a decent spot to be though, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's not necessarily a good change, bad change. I think it's a little more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
But is smoking weed and fishing better than drinking alcohol and gaming? Personally, I would say very much so, but that's just because of what I do nowadays and what I don't like doing anymore.
6/24.
Also, my body feels better because of it.
6/24/2018. Hella important question. Would you be free to podcast once every other week? As in, would you like to be a permanent fixture? And I responded with, I'll be your permanent fixture anytime. And also,
of course you
is
did.
extremely whack. And you know what? The more things change, the more they stay the same.
I'm glad I wasn't asked to be a permanent fixture from the start.
I think, honestly, I was afraid you would say no, so I didn't want to make it too extreme right off the bat.
You were throwing softballs.
You can just ask me questions and I'll say yes because I have no fucking self-respect.
This guy was throwing softballs at me, only for me to throw softballs to no response years later.
Yeah.
Noah, do you know where else people could get access to books?
You know what I'm sad about?
I don't know, the library.
I'm sad. What makes me sad about this thing is seeing the messages from Edge, or the messages about Edge's fucking work for the D&D game we were part of at the time. Because those are and continue to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh yeah, I'm the inspector.
And,
Fucking
Dan, I've got a plan for this campaign. I can pay for this campaign.
I'm a big fan of just the fact that Edge did this thing where I don't know how many people have seen Edge's like cartoony little sketch style, but then because she didn't feel like drawing hands, so she would find rendered stock hands, like photos of hands, and use those to gesture.
It's incredible.
So it would be like a human hand on this shitty little stick man body.
So good. I will. It's one of those things where I look at that and I'm like, wow, I'm just never gonna be that funny, huh? It's never gonna happen.
Someday.
That's
You
the
can dream.
spirit.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys like kitchen appliances?
Fucking love.
I do,
kitchen
yeah.
appliances.
God, I fucking love kitchen appliances.
What about him?
I got beef with specifically the people who are like, everything's gotta do multiple things. I like shitty one-use gadgets sometimes.
Yeah. So
Sometimes.
there's some good single-use gadgets out there, right?
Garlic press.
Garlic press is so good. I love a garlic press.
Amazing.
Let's see.
Popcorn popper.
Yeah, because
Hot air popcorn maker. Amazing.
there's some things that it's like you can only do one thing and that's okay.
Exactly.
I think if you filled your kitchen with single-use appliances,
Right.
you
There
gotta-
is a definite like stopping
limit.
point. Like, oh.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like the anti single use appliance, I don't get the hate. I feel like sure there's an excessive degree that some people take themselves onto, and no offense to Mari's parents, they have like actually 30 single use appliances.
Damn.
They have an entire like wall shelf of it. They don't keep them all in the kitchen. They keep them. They literally because it wouldn't fit. They in the basement they have like a shelf that's just a whole bunch of single use appliances, and I think that's excessive.
Yeah.
But it's also like accrued over the course of like decades, and
Yeah.
a lot of them were like gifts, and a lot of them are like genuinely very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone, if you have like a genuinely like really awesome bread maker, you can't just keep that in your kitchen all the time. But it's nice to have. You don't want to throw it out, and you have the space in the basement, so I get it. But still,
Indeed, yeah. No, I mean, I like kitchen appliances quite a bit. I had a ton of them. Unfortunately, I've officially run out of kitchen space. Any appliance that, and there are plenty. I have appliances in my office closet. I have appliances hidden away upstairs. I have appliances in my bedroom closet. I got too many appliances.
fair.
And I would say most of them are not single use. I think there's one or two that are like, no, this is like I do have a popcorn machine. But you know what?
Yeah, that's allowed.
That's allowed. I'm allowed to have. I think the one that I have that I think is like very like I own this is a panini press that Michelle's parents gave us when we first moved in together. And
Yeah, that I'll agree with.
let me
I
tell
think
you,
that's
that shit's great, but also wildly unnecessary.
I feel like
I gotta be
I would rather
honest.
just have like
Piece of
a
cast iron.
skillet and a press.
Yeah,
I would get a
exactly.
panini press, just because I like the convenience of a panini press.
They're
But
so
then
fun.
hearing Jackson say, "Just get a skillet and a press," I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Exactly.
We-
But that's the thing about single-use appliances,
Yeah.
the allure. They don't try and tell you about the alternatives. They're like, ooh, that's a good idea. I could get the frozen pizza maker.
We do have used our panini press for like burgers.
Oh, I'm sure it's great.
Which is actually surprisingly excellent for somebody who doesn't own a grill. Huge fan. But is it wildly self-indulgent to even own? Yes, 100%.
Yeah, if someone gives it to you, though, then you're just using a thing someone gave you
It'd
because
be
you care.
rude. It'd be rude to not.
Exactly. Like, I have a soda stream, and that's probably the most, like,
Ooh.
superfluous single-use item I have.
That's nice though.
But here's the
is
thing
nice.
about single-use items, though. Some single-use items, like a panini press, can be done just as well with a skillet and a press.
Yeah, you can't
Other
do a soda
single-use
stream.
items like a soda stream.
Yeah, that shit, like, what are you gonna do?
It's like how you can't fake that. You just go out and buy soda
Exactly.
water. That's your other option.
Yeah, and that's definitely, like, the way I see it, too. Plus, it also was given to me as a birthday gift. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, when it comes to single-use things that I think, and this is coming from a point of like, I am saying that I'm okay with both, but like a pot calling the kettle black for sure is like all the people who are super like bougie about their like kitchen stuff, the Bon Appetit types.
Oh yes.
And they're like no single-use appliances. Everything should be variable and allow for room and allow for changes and adjustments and, maneuverability. But then they'll own a fucking Chemex.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, as a man who owns probably a dozen single-use machines that all make coffee, you can't be like, I only have multiple-use appliances and also coffee makers that only make coffee.
Yeah.
You gotta draw the line somewhere. Just do it on your stovetop. See? It's not the same.
Yeah. No, agreed.
But yeah, that's my beef. Also, potato peelers are nice to have.
Yeah.
And they're faster than a knife. And they're like $2.
Yeah. No, potato peelers, great choice.
Yeah, it is. Sit in your drawer. It's like $2.
Yeah.
I think because there are some egregious single-use items, like a vegetable peeler.
There are.
That's one thing. That's at least it's a tool. It works out pretty well. But then there's like those weird meat shredding Wolverine claws, which are firstly a gimmick, second a single-use appliance. And I think
You're gonna hate this. Mari's parents have those.
yeah, I'm not surprised. But here's the thing, right? Gimmick single-use appliances I hold in a lighter spot of disdain by like a country mile to like sincere single-use appliances,
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
yeah, the weird Wolverine claws, that's stupid as hell, but you know what they are? Those are a thing that people buy as a gift because they know they're stupid. But it's like,
Yeah. They're
hey,
clear in
look
their
at this.
Yeah, that's like a housewarming gift for like someone you're like, fuck, they probably don't have this.
Exactly. And
And you need to get 'em
all laugh
something.
about it, but you didn't want to get them their 17th metal spoon.
Oh, you know
know?
what I owned for the longest time?
A metal spoon?
No.
16
I've never
metal
You
owned
didn't?
one in my life. I only eat off
You should-
plastic
you should-
and,
you-
and
you
the
should get a metal
rubbery, the rubbery ones they make for children that have like constant thing on them.
That's
Yeah,
probably
it'll
for the
change your
best.
life once you start using metal spoons
Yeah.
for
Well,
like
they're gonna
both
get hot.
cooking and eating.
They're gonna get hot when
Ah.
with the hot thing. I don't want that.
You gotta be careful, but you can. I think you can do it.
I don't want to try. I don't want to try. I can never fail if I don't try.
By
I
not
owned
trying, you have already
a
failed.
cheese slicer for the longest time. That shit.
Oh, cheese slicer's worth it.
Like,
No,
Dan, when you
it
say
ain't.
cheese slicer, are you talking about a taut wire on a frame?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they're literally the worst. Do not.
Fuck you. What?
They're my God.
A cheese slicer?
I
They're
can-
amazing.
Just use a knife. It's fine.
But here's the thing. If you are cutting a soft cheese, it can work pretty well for you. If you're cutting a hard
I literally
cheese...
can't believe that this is a thing that I am I am somehow in the wrong on. This is insane.
I love
it's-
like especially if it's got like the cutting is like attached to the cutting board.
No, it's
and you can just
literally
bring it down.
this
Oh.
shit. Hold on.
If it's not attached to a cutting board, I don't know how I'd feel about it. But my old roommate had one that was like basically it was a cutting board, like a marble cutting board.
See,
That looks weird and dumb.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
If it was attached to a marble cutting board, I could get behind it. I understand the concept there. That's fine.
Okay,
Because-
yeah, whatever that thing is, I agree that sucks. I don't know what that is.
Well, if it's attached, because there is once again there's a line between luxury item like a marble cutting board with a cheese wire attached to it,
I don't know why he had it, but it
which
was
is
awesome.
like that's some charcuterie shit, and that's
He did
good.
love
That is
cheese.
That's
charcuterie,
good.
That is true.
This is it works fine at what it does, but yeah, I guess like a regular ass cheese knife is gonna treat you better.
Yeah, the one
But-
that was attached to a cutting board was so nice because you can buy a block of cheese and you can just genuinely make really thin, like kind of like craft single thickness slices of cheese off of it.
Suddenly it makes more
And like
sense now.
consistently and like regularly, and like you save a ton of money and they're so good. And you don't feel bad about putting like 4 slices of cheese on anything.
You know what? You sold me.
They're awesome.
I think the issue, Dan, with the one that you are highlighting is that my parents had one of those too. And I think the issue with them is that you have to touch the cheese
Yeah. You have
and
to do
it
that.
warms the cheese up and
Oh,
the thing
this is
doesn't
the
always
exact one he
catch
had.
well. Meanwhile, this one that Jackson is sharing, if the photo
I'm sharing it right
loads.
now, yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, the thing Jackson
is the exact
sharing,
one.
That's just a little guillotine.
No,
for
that's rad.
cheese.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I love that thing.
That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, not knocking marble, like, it's always, what is it, 10 degrees colder than room temp?
Yeah. Oh, it's $35 online.
That's
Not that that's cheap, but like that's not too
I
bad.
gotta be honest, for a little like doodad like that, that's actually not bad.
I might buy this because this is the exact one, and I know how nice it works.
No, I understand now. I see that now. The problem here is different terminology being used for the same device.
I think it is
Or different
technically the
devices being
same
used.
device.
Yeah, different. Same word being used for what I think is a different device entirely. Because I don't think
Yeah,
those are the same
definitely
device.
different qualities within
Yeah.
this device.
'Cause that little fucking thing was useless. I think I literally didn't ever use it.
I feel like you're in the right because looking at it the one you showed me, just do a knife.
Just
But
use
this
a
one
knife.
with the cutting board is very, very nice to do. Like
And
making a charcuterie board or just to slice cheese really thin consistently.
I can understand slicing cheese really. That might also be the other thing is that I didn't use it a lot for like table slicing cheese. Like I used
Yeah,
it
and that one
for
you sent
charcuterie.
looks like it's not really for like it doesn't look like it's variable size, whereas like when it's on the board, you just literally put the cheese where you
Where you
want
want
the,
it,
to the
yeah.
thickness.
It
So you
is
can be as
variable
thick or thin as you
size.
want.
You can't quite see it
It
in
is
the
okay.
picture, but you can make it as thick as the little wheelie thing. For people who can't see, obviously, it looks like a sideways lint roller with a wire.
Yes.
And you can move
Yeah, I would never use
the
that.
roller
I'm scared of it.
as close to or as far from the wire as the frame of the device allows. However, it does not quite it doesn't always stay as consistent as you want sometimes, depending on the cheese. Sometimes you push down on the cheese too much and you'll dig into the cheese by squishing it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that device sucks.
Mhm.
The what's the device that's like it's named after it's a mandolin.
Yeah, mandolins are great.
I got a mandolin. We
I got
haven't
I have
broken
never
it out
used
yet.
one, but
Yeah,
I don't trust
like-
myself with it.
Oh, I feel it.
And I don't
feel it.
really like what would I do with it, right? Like do I need like thin zucchini? Not really.
I like using it for if you need to make like a real quick like cucumber salad. It's great because
Oh.
you decimate a cucumber in like no time flat.
Fair.
I would love to use it for making like real ratatouille. Because you gotta slice that shit really fucking thin.
No.
Yeah, this is where
no,
single-use
no.
device heads be like, just use a knife.
No, that's how you make ratatouille in the style of the movie Ratatouille.
No, I thought you had to lay it out in a little bed like a long thing.
Not correct. It in fact is a chunky vegetable thing. Also,
Interesting. Maybe I've only had the thin fucking movie version, so that's
that
on
sounds
me.
very good. I have made the chunky vegetable soup that is ratatouille,
also
because
sounds
that's
very
the first recipe I found.
Or
But yeah, no,
That
there's
was his name.
Remy. His name is Remy the Rat.
No, his name was Ratatouille.
His name is not,
Fuck,
and
you got me
actually,
there.
I've gotten into full-on arguments about this. I don't know with you specifically, Jackson, but
Him Ratatouille.
because that movie, High Key, is
He
one of my
gives him the
favorite.
hat.
High Key is one of my favorite Disney movies, and I will not have people besmirch Remy the Rat.
Him in the
this
hat.
way. That man was
Ratatouille.
that rat was a chef and an artist. Okay.
Yeah.
and his name was
You would
Ratatouille.
respect it as such.
And his name? Albert Einstein.
Hot damn! I can't believe Albert.
That
did
boy's
that.
name?
Nailed it.
What was his name? What was his name?
It was Ratatouille.
Holy
Ratatouille.
fuck! Ratatouille.
That's crazy.
Goddamn saint.
He was like always like, hey, it's me, Ratatouille. My brother's fat.
That's what they
You
said.
know what? I remember that. I remember that in the movie. He's
I
like,
want to go to Paris.
my
An old
name's
lady
Remy
shooting at me.
Ratatouille.
A lightning bolt there. The movie takes place in Brooklyn, which is why it's really weird that you can see the Eiffel Tower. That was actually a mistake made by one of the animators.
No.
That's why they put that music in to try and like smooth out the problem. They're like, oh, if we make it sound French, maybe no one will notice that we accidentally put the Eiffel Tower in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's so true.
I really love. There's a TikTok or a Tumblr post with something about how they wanted a Ratatouille. If there had ever been a sequel to Ratatouille, it would have been a bunch of chefs from around the world with other animals under their hats, and you would have had a U.S. version that would have just been Guy Fieri, and that's very funny.
What would the U.S. animal be? I think the quick choice is a raccoon. I think a possum is more iconic and individualized to the country.
I think it's a question of what can you make a pun out of.
I think potentially, but I don't know if they would necessarily do the puns out of all of them if they were to do like a huge array of chefs.
That's true.
But I think the American one, I would go with the American possum.
I think it's an extremely valid choice, actually. I like it.
And they don't. What if they weren't always under the hat? What if like the Australian guy had a kangaroo that he kept in a pouch?
I didn't know where you were going with that for a second. I really thought that was going a different direction.
Yeah. What if
I'm
the
here
Australian guy shoved a kangaroo up his butt? Come on.
What if
Dan.
the Australian guy had a huge dick and an ass like the mom from The Incredibles? I can't do this.
Oh, God. What have we
If you want to roleplay as Gollum,
You guys, I'm so glad this was a classic season of Off the Air. That's what I wanted.
endorphin port.
You can.
What
No.
if the Australian... Woo!
Hide up my endorphin port.
What?
No, never mind.
Endorphin port.
This is.
The body's bad. The body's not good.
Oh my god.
So, anyway, I think that the Australian guy should have a little pouch with the kangaroo,
I'm here for it.
and the Canadian guy, it's got to be a beaver, probably, right?
I guess so.
You couldn't do moose.
I think it would be
it's not
extremely
feasible.
funny if the Canadian guy just was a moose and it had a human like on his head.
The human just rides him around and he's like, "No, you gotta trust me. The moose says there's too much maple syrup on these pancakes."
Exactly.
What would the chef from India have?
I
I think
don't.
the most iconic Indian animal, at least to me, is the peacock. But I think that would be really difficult to
I
do on
love
account
the
of them
idea-
being incredibly
A
noticeable.
peacock perched on his back, just like as he. Oh my god! As he cooks,
There's
he
a-
tastes.
yeah.
No, okay. So he takes the spoon,
no.
he puts it in his mouth, he does the little nom 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 nom, and then he looks up, and his eyes fill with joy, and the peacock tail spreads out behind him as the world glows gold with light pouring in.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, there we go. I'm really glad that we.
What about the guy from Kyrgyzstan?
Oh, jeez, God.
I don't know, man. I don't know jack about
Wow.
Kyrgyzstan.
That's on you, huh?
All I know is how to work in the peacock.
The peacock. He did his bit. Let the writers room take it from here.
Yeah, the writer's room can
would-
take it from here.
I'm just trying to think of like iconic animals from all different countries.
I don't know enough animals. Is a rat an iconic animal from France?
Sure,
And it's firstly, once
Why
again,
not?
Brooklyn, Dan.
it's true.
I was just gonna let it slide. I was just like, you know what? That's on me. It's true. I am the.
I made some Indian food the other day.
I've never made my own Indian food. Which
God,
makes
it's
me
so
sad.
good. Indian food is probably top 3 best like national cuisines
I think I'm a little scared too, because
for me.
The place that Michelle and I lived in before this, when we moved in, smelled so strongly of Indian food for like 6 months after we moved in. And the only reason I know it didn't still smell like that when we moved out was because I like left for a week and came back and still couldn't smell Indian food. But that place fucking was rancid with Indian food smell.
I mean, the
Curry
spices are very
specifically.
pervasive.
And so I think I'm a little scared. Like I think I'm like I don't want to make my whole house smell like curry for like a month.
No, what likely happened is there's probably whoever lived there before you was either Indian or cooked a lot of Indian food.
Mhm.
You know, the spices, specifically like curry, is a really like fragrant and also lingering spice.
Whatever it was so what we like because it sticks in like smoker like the smokers, right?
Mhm.
So we scrub the walls because that's what they say to do with both. Like you're supposed to scrub the walls down, and the like whatever like the water that came away had a like pinkish hue to it from whatever the spices were that were still in the wall.
I love good Indian food. I made a whole bunch of momos, which are basically like Indian dumplings.
Ooh.
Very good. And I did like a little like tikka masala sauce, and also made like a chutney, and then I did them as like with the masala as like a dip of sorts almost.
Nice.
A bunch of onion in there, just a very pleasant time.
That sounds extraordinary.
I didn't have any access to any paneer, so I put fresh mozzarella in the momos, as well as like I just had turkey. It was the only meat I had on hand. I didn't want to buy more, so I just did turkey as the meat, and then I put some like a chunk of some fresh mozzarella in all of them, and I pan fried them, and them boys were so good.
I just ate. You can't make me hungry again already. That's not fair.
I ate so much.
I could barely think about the concept of food, but I do love making curries.
Oh yeah, curry's got to be one of my favorite foods for sure.
I think the great thing is that you can make yourself a vat of curry, and firstly, every day it just gets better as it sits. You know? Like day 2 curry is better than day 1 curry, day 3 curry is better than day 2. You know, diminishing returns as it goes on, but it still stays good. Oh man, I love making curry.
It's very good.
We haven't made curry in
I
ages.
definitely want to I want to try making curry as like a camping food because I know that's super big, at least in a lot of Asian countries. I know only specifically like Japan and Taiwan do it a lot. I don't know about everyone else, but they like culturally, like when you go camping, curry is like a very commonly eaten thing.
That makes sense.
And that sounds awesome. Specifically like instant curry. I'm sure people probably make their own, but like
Oh, okay. That makes
instant
sense.
curry is just because basically you boil some water. It's an MRE, right? If you have one of those like packs of instant curry, you can just toss them in there. It'll heat up. You like take it out of the water, open the pack, pour it on top of your rice, and you eat. So it's pretty easy to make. But yeah, I want to try doing that because it just sounds like pleasant and easy.
Yeah, valid. I now am extremely hungry. I feel like we talked about the anniversary so little, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Honestly, what is a better way to honor the fucking anniversary of Off the Air than to bring it up and then aggressively shitpost at each other for the next hour?
That is true. That is on brand for us.
Like, we got top 10, or, well, I guess we didn't make it to 10, but the top forested territories of America.
yeah. The bit was taking a while, and it just wasn't really like worth dragging out just so you had to like keep guessing.
I at least got to West Virginia. I got my guesses in pretty
Almost
solidly,
had 'em.
and I am pleased.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
So are we done?
Yeah, I guess
Podcast. Yes, forever. This is the last episode. Goodbye.
definitely the last
how
episode.
How many more episodes are we gonna do?
Who knows? I've actually thought about that. Like, I like this.
Damn.
Like, I love this show.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess everything has to end.
I mean, there's got to be like a reasonable stopping point, but I feel like that reasonable stopping point will show up when it's ready to show up.
I think that reasonable stopping point passed like 3 years ago.
I mean, you know,
Nah.
we're
And we
4 years.
spat in the face of those who said, "Hey, buddy, it's time to stop."
We're 4 years in. We're about to hit season 5.
What episode number is this, Noah?
This is episode 205. And there's a part of me that doesn't want to commit to stopping before episode 420. The episode where
I
all
was
three of us get
literally
into one
thinking
room,
that.
high off our ass, and record an episode
Dude.
and go out with a bang.
Are you like committing us to episode 420? Because that would be another 4 years.
It would be another a 4.5 years. And that's the thing is I don't want to commit us to 4.5 more years of podcast.
That's 200. Yeah, that's a lot of weeks.
I feel
But-
like they'd give ending at like 365. Like you could listen to the podcast every day for a year.
I feel like we should end it when like one of us goes out in like a really horrific way, and there's just no way to continue on the podcast
No way to
because
bring it back.
it's just like brutal to even like sit in a room and try and
And
address it.
acknowledge that
So it just
happened.
like tapers out into nothingness, and that's just how it sometimes has to go.
You know what?
Or
I-
episode 420 when we get high off our ass in a room with the Baby Yoda bong.
I think both are great, to be honest. I think both are phenomenal.
So are we done?